And
Are we
we
set
are ready
to,
to go whenever you are.
Okay, we're set to go. Well, we'll go ahead and get started then. I want to welcome everyone to the, I guess it's October 4th, 2021 meeting of the Pacifica Planning Commission. And before we start, I want to go ahead and offer some preliminary information regarding how we'll be proceeding this evening. And this meeting will be conducted pursuant to the provisions of the Government Code, Section 54953, as recently amended by Assembly Bill 361, which authorizes teleconferenced meetings under the Brown Act during certain proclaimed states of emergency. The governor of the state of California has proclaimed a state of emergency related to COVID-19, and that relates back to March 4th of 2020. The teleconference meeting that we're undertaking here is necessary so that the city can conduct essential business, and it's permitted under the Government Code, Section 54953, in order to protect public health and safety of attendees. Consistent with the Government Code, this Planning Commission meeting will be held via teleconference only and will not be physically open to the public. Members of the Planning Commission and staff will teleconference into the meeting by audio and/or video. This meeting is being conducted pursuant to Zoom. The public can observe actually the meeting while sheltering at home via the Zoom link as a primary means of participation, or via the cable channel 26 or live stream broadcasts as alternate methods of viewing the meeting. Participation via the Zoom link will enable the meeting to be observed live and will enable the public to speak during public comment periods. The Zoom link was published in the meeting agenda. Live public comments are being accepted at this meeting in place of emailed public comments. Public comments may be provided live by members of the public utilizing the Zoom link to participate in the meeting. Utilize the raise hand function in the Zoom application on a computer, smartphone, or tablet, or else enter *9 to raise your hand if you're dialing in by phone. Please ensure your name is correctly entered in your Zoom profile so city staff may properly identify you when it's your turn to speak. Those dialing in by phone will be called to speak by the last 4 digits of the phone number as shown on the Zoom interface. So then, with that said, we'll turn to the substance of the agenda, and we'll start with the salute to the flag. And I will ask Commissioner Berman to please lead us in the salute to the flag.
Chair Nilda, do you think we could take a roll call before we proceed to salute with the flag?
You're absolutely right. Let's start with the roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Berman.
Present.
Commissioner Ferguson.
Present.
Commissioner Godwin.
Present.
Commissioner Hauser.
Present.
Commissioner Leal.
Present.
Commissioner Niblin.
Present. Thank you. That will take us under the salute to the flag, and I will again ask Commissioner Berman to.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Berman. So we'll then move to administrative business. And I guess before we jump into administrative business, let me identify 3 items of administrative business that we have this evening. One is approval of the order of agenda. The second is approval of minutes for our meeting of September 7th, 2021. And finally, we're going to designate a liaison, or seek to designate a liaison to the City Council meeting of October 11th. This relates to the Fairmont Shopping Center Development Plan. I'm going to go ahead prior to us taking action on those matters and see if we have any public comments with respect to any of those items of administrative business. So Mr. Murdoch, I'll ask you to help us with that to see if we have any public comment.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not seeing any hands raised by the meeting participants.
Very good. I'll go ahead and bring it back, and we'll take these one at a time then. First, I'll ask if there is a motion to approve the order of agenda. Commissioner Berman.
I move that we approve the order of agenda.
Thank you. Commissioner Berman's moved that we approve the order of agenda. Commissioner Hauser.
I'll second.
Motion's been seconded. Can we go ahead and get a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Berman.
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson.
Yes.
Commissioner Godwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Hauser.
Yes.
Commissioner Leal.
Yes.
Commissioner Niblin.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. So we've approved our order of agenda. Then we'll move to Approval of our minutes for the meeting of September 7th, 2021. I'll go ahead and ask if there are any comments, discussion with respect to the minutes, and/or a motion would also be in order. Commissioner Godwin.
Chair, if I could, before we proceed to a motion, I just wanted to call the commission's attention to packet page 10. There is a typographical error there where staff did not fill in a blank from our transcriptionist. You'll see it's the paragraph slightly below halfway down the page, highlighted in yellow. Commissioner Hauser stated that it might be a technical issue, but when staff mentioned that there were no more hands, she saw hands from the public go up, and she wanted to be sure they don't have any issue with blank. I think in that context, Commissioner Hauser was saying any issue with missing members who wish to speak, members of the public who wish to speak. And so I would suggest modifying the minutes to reflect that.
Thank you. It looks like Commissioner Hauser is in agreement with that statement. So we'll go ahead and deem the minutes revised as stated. Commissioner Godwin.
I also had a correction on the last paragraph on packet page 13. If you take a look at that, it looks to me the first sentence is missing a verb. I think it ought to read something like Commissioner Godwin wanted to respond to Commissioner Leo's question. And then the next couple sentences didn't make complete sense to me either. I know it's a little technical, but it seemed like they got lost a little bit in the weeds. And I think it ought to read something like he stated that most of the energy storage structures tend to be battery stacks at the moment, but there is certainly hydrogen storage tanks and flow batteries, which, for example, could be vanadium and sulfuric acid, which provide a low-cost electrical storage. He thought from this kind of technology rather than terminology, we were passing the responsibility over to the building department on what things that would be allowed on this site. So it seems it needs some significant rewording.
Commissioner Godwin, well, a couple questions. One, Mr. Murdoch, I don't know if you sort of picked up all of that, all those edits, or whether or not you think it makes sense for us to go ahead and table this and bring it back up after we've got a chance to tighten up that language. I don't know if you have a thought, Commissioner Godwin, or Mr. Murdoch, for that matter, as to the best way to proceed on it.
Well, Chair Niblin, I feel able to adequately implement those in referencing the meeting recording to make sure I can go over it a couple of times and capture the essence of what Commissioner Godwin relayed. So I'm fine on my end, but it's certainly up to the commission whether to proceed or to continue. I'll just add that these minutes are intended to be an attachment to the City Council's agenda report on October 11th for the appeal hearing. And so it'd be my preference if we could adopt them this evening with the corrections as read into the record.
Thank you. Noted. Commissioner Godwin, it sounds like you had the chance to go through and kind of fine tune the language, or at least sort of communicate your sense of what it ought to be saying. Are you okay with staff going ahead and implementing the gist of the revisions that you offered?
Sure.
Great. Okay. Well, with those comments then from Commissioner Hauser and Commissioner Godwin, are there any other comments or concerns related to the minutes, and/or is there a motion with respect to the minutes? I'd go ahead myself and offer a motion that we approve the minutes from our meeting of September 7th, 2021. Commissioner Godwin.
I second your motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can we get roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Berman.
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson.
Yes.
Commissioner Godwin.
Yes.
Commissioner Hauser.
Yes.
Commissioner Leal.
Yes.
Commissioner Niblin.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Then the next item of administrative business is the designation of a liaison to the City Council meeting. And this is the City Council meeting of October 11th, 2021 to consider the action that we took on the Fairmont Shopping Center development plan. And I guess I'd start with a request for a volunteer to serve as a liaison for this matter. I'm taking it we have an appeal that was filed.
Actually, Chair, it's the next procedural step. As a legislative item, this requires a recommendation from the Planning Commission and then final action by the City Council.
Got it. Okay. Sorry about that. Again, is there a volunteer to serve as the liaison? Commissioner Hauser.
So as the motion maker, I would be happy to serve with the caveat that I am not going to be able to get on until about 7:45. And I don't know where on the agenda, Mr. Murdoch, you were planning to have this item. Would that be acceptable?
I don't know yet where the placement will be. To my knowledge, this may be the only public hearing, but typically the council is taking between 45 minutes to an hour to get through the introductory items on the agenda, if you will, before getting to hearings and consideration items. So my sense is that it would be fine for you to join at that point in time, but it's hard to say when the meeting is actually underway.
October 11th. That's next Monday, is there?
That's correct, Chair Niblin.
Well, I'm actually very much looking forward to accepting Commissioner Hauser's offer to serve as the liaison. I think we ought to go ahead and exercise my prerogative to accept that. And if for whatever reason it looks like we're accelerated, I will make sure that I'm available between 7 and 7:45 to step into the breach should be necessary. But
Thank you for that.
but I'm imagining, based on experience, just watching meetings, etc., of the City Council, that 7:45 is probably pretty safe. So why don't we proceed that way? Okay, and that will take us then to oral communications. And this is the portion of the agenda that's available to the public to address the Planning Commission on any issue within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission that is not on the agenda. The time allowed, excuse me, the time allowed for any speaker will be 3 minutes. So I'll ask Mr. Murdoch if you could help us determine whether there's anybody to address us under oral communications this evening.
Thank you, Chair Niblin. At this time, I'm not seeing any hands raised by meeting participants.
All right, so we'll go ahead and bring it back then to the commission, and we don't have any consent items, so we'll move past that and we'll move then to our continued public hearing. And this is file number 2018-057, General Plan Amendment GPA 100-21, rezoning RZ 20118, Development Plan DP 7918, Specific Plan SP 16918, Variance PV 52618, and Parking Exception PE 19121, relating to, filed by Matthew and Margaret Murphy for a general plan land use designation change to very low density residential, rezoning, various and sundry other actions related to a 2,406 square foot single family residence with a 2-car garage on a 24,149 square foot undeveloped parcel at the eastern terminus of Talbot Avenue in Pacifica. The recommended CEQA action at this time is NA, and that's related to the fact that the recommended action is actually to continue this matter to a date to be determined. So I guess we'll start with a discussion from commissioners related to this recommended action. And I guess actually I'll turn to Mr. Murdoch first and see if there's any staff report beyond what's in the packet that I just read.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. Deputy Planning Director Christian Murdoch. Nothing much further to add beyond what's in the report. Simply put, the applicant's agent needs additional time to prepare the renderings that the Commission requested. And so we don't want to guess as to when those will be ready and cause confusion for the Commission and for the public. And so we'd rather set a specific date and be confident that we'll keep it once those renderings are in and accepted by the staff.
Thank you. So the matter at issue this evening is whether or not to continue the matter. I'll ask my colleagues if there are any comments, questions, discussion with respect to the recommendation to continue the matter. Seeing none, I will go ahead and see if we have any public comment with respect to the, I'm sorry, strike that. Looks like Commissioner Ferguson has his hand up.
It was an accident, sorry.
Great. Okay, we'll go ahead then and again, just see if there's any comment from the public with respect to the recommendation to continue this one.
There are no hands raised, Chair.
We'll go ahead and bring it back then. And at this point, I will take the matter of the continuance to deliberation and ask if there was any deliberation or a motion with respect to that. Commissioner Hauser.
I'd be happy to make a motion to continue the matter to a date to be determined by staff at a future juncture.
Please go ahead and make that motion, or I'll deem that the motion.
That's the motion. Yeah.
Very good. Commissioner Leo,
I'll second the motion.
we have a motion and a second to continue this item to a date to be determined by staff. Can we go ahead and get a roll call vote?
Commissioner Berman,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Godwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hauser,
Yes.
Commissioner Leal,
Yes.
Commissioner Niblin.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We'll then move to communications, and I'll start with commission communications. Are there any commission communications? Seeing none this evening, I will then move to staff communications. Mr. Murdoch,
Nothing to share this evening, Chair. Thank you.
thank you. Then that'll take us to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Commissioner Ferguson,
Yeah, I can move that we adjourn the meeting.
motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Commissioner Godwin,
I second the motion.
we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Berman,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Godwin,
Yes.
Commissioner Hauser,
Yes.
Commissioner Leal,
Yes.
Commissioner Niblin.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Well, we're adjourned. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.